Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Transforming Hearts PLLC. Today is August 14th, 2024, and I am so excited to introduce you guys all to Kyle, the founder and COO of Gentle Love Connections. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
Good. So I know that we had something scheduled previously, and then I ended up getting sick, and we had to reschedule. But finally, we're here, and I missed it because I wanted to be there in person, but the schedules were kind of off. And I was like, you know what? I want to make sure that the audience and people are understanding how great of a nonprofit that you have going on, because it's such an impact on the community. And so I was like, we just have to get this information out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Kyle, usually I was telling Kyle before this, like usually I start off by introducing my guest speakers to everyone, but I think his story is so important that I want him to tell his background, his story about how this even got started, because it started in June 2020, correct?
Yes.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit about the background of how Gentle Love Connection started?
Sure, yeah. The whole inspiration for this organization stems from an experience that my mother brought to my attention back in April of 2020. So my mother, who works as the director of family school and community partnerships for Vernon Public Schools, spent 3 hours trying to track down diapers for a family that was involved in a domestic violence incident. And through that experience, she recognized that there wasn't a resource in place. And so she kind of prompted me to, consider starting something. And so I took her word for it. I then reached out to Matt Geary, the superintendent for Manchester Public Schools, and got permission to start a diaper drive up at Manchester High. And so we got a U-Haul truck. We loaded the back of a U-Haul truck with 17,000 diapers.
Wow.
And that was kind of the launching point for the organization. I recognized A, there was a large need that wasn't being met, and B, there was a community of supporters that I could lean into to sustain something long term. And so from there, got formal 501c3 status in October of 2020,
Mhm.
and have gradually scaled the operations. So first year we raised about 10 grand,
Wow.
second year up to 32 grand. Third year we were up to 53 grand, and then just this past year we surpassed six figures, so north of $110,000. And
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, we're really fortunate in the sense, we have um, an array of funders that help us to continually engage in this work, and that we also have a great host in Green Moving and Storage, where I am now,
Right.
with pallets upon pallets of goods behind me, that we distribute to families in need throughout the region.
That's awesome. So now I can't imagine, like, especially during COVID time, and this was during 2020, there was a lot of people going without just as well. Like there's so many things. Was it hard to find like a place to get the diapers from, or was it just like you just had to go to a certain resource to get that?
Yeah, so when I initially started this, I mean, all the product that we were distributing through our community partners, um, it was collected through community-based drives.
Mm.
Um, so over the course of summer of 2020, I think I collected north of 35,000 diapers through three community-based drives.
Mhm.
Um, and then I also had, you know, dozens upon dozens of family, friends, community members, churches, civic orgs, bringing donations of product to me, or purchasing items off an Amazon wish list. And so that's how we were initially sustaining um, our rate of distribution. Now, to
Mhm.
put in context, I mean, yesterday alone, I distributed 40,000 diapers out of that space. So
Wow.
that's equivalent to what we collected through our three initial drives
Mhm.
in 2020. And unfortunately, from my standpoint, we're seeing the need continue to
Mm.
increase um, to levels I initially did not foresee as even feasible. But it's just, again, it's a kind of sign of the economic times that we're in.
Yeah, and it's almost sad to see that, right? Because inflation is going up, prices are going up on things, and it's almost creating more of a need for people who can't afford to buy the diapers because everything is going up. And so, yeah, I could see like the need increasing over time. Is it hard for you to continuously find get donations because of the increased need?
I mean, yes. I mean, even from our standpoint,
Mm.
the product that we're purchasing to distribute in bulk, the
Mhm.
cost since we've joined with the current distributor we're utilizing has increased 15.6%
Wow.
over the past 3 years. So that's additional costs that we have to absorb, and we have to get creative in terms of, continually pulling in the dollars to sustain the operation, which is continuing to scale minute by minute. And again, um, this diapers are one of those high need
Mhm.
critical items that people are people overlook
Mhm.
because, again, unless you have young children at home, or a young child, it's very hard to resonate with the need.
Right.
um and again, like, diapers, they cost $70 to $80
Mhm.
per month per child. um and they're not covered under SNAP or WIC,
Right.
so there's no form of public
Assistance
social
and stuff.
assistance
Yeah.
to purchase this critical essential. And so it's a symptom of wider structural inequalities
Mm.
that continue to compound.
Mm.
And so, in many regards, we're kind of the ones on the ground
Mhm.
trying to put a put a bandage on a wound that continues to grow. And
Mm.
so, again, it's an it's an evolving process, and I've learned a ton through this experience
Yeah.
that will position me well, for my future, both professionally and educationally. But um, yeah, it's sad to be in this position, um, that our numbers are inflating to levels
Right.
that are astronomical. And
Right.
so, again, like, having a community around me has really helped to position us well. And
Right.
so, now we're in a position where if we get a call, we can help.
Mhm.
And that's something that definitely I, you know, find, a little bit more reassuring, because
Mhm.
3 years ago, I mean, we were going from distribution to distribution, hoping that the donations would come in from
Right.
community members, versus now we have a more stable funding sources that we can rely on, which makes it so much easier from an organizational standpoint.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. And I'm sure again like that still comes with its up and down as
Yes.
the needs increase. So where do you do some of these community like drives out? Like do you, so it because something like this is a lot of groundwork that you're continuously doing. So where are some places that people can go? Like how can they find you and or if they are in need?
Yeah. So we have 8 community partners
Mhm.
throughout Manchester, East Hartford, Vernon, and South Windsor,
Mhm.
Connecticut here. Um, in Manchester, we have the Manchester Public Schools Welcome Center. the Manchester Early Childhood Collaborative, and Second Congregational Church Food Pantry.
Hmm.
In South Windsor, we have the Bridge Food Pantry. In East Hartford, we have the Ann B. Clark Co-op at Goodwin University, St. Rose and St. Mary's Food Pantries. And then in Vernon, we work with Hockenham Valley Community Council. So there's additional information in relation to hours at which uh, diapers can be accessed through these respective sites, through our website, www.gentleLove.org
Hmm.
/community partners. Um, Also, too, like we will occasionally do pop-up distributions,
Hmm.
um, in coordination with local municipalities. Um, and then if you're in a position to help and you feel like this mission really resonates with you, um, definitely feel free to donate through our website. And also, as well, we'll have occasional diaper drives out in the community. We've partnered in the past with Monaco Ford and Glastonbury, Silk City Coffee here in Manchester, Louis Bakery in Ellington. Illicit Brewing here in Manchester as well, amongst a variety of other local businesses, organizations, and even most recently, we did a drive with the Yard Goats baseball team. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. That's so great for information because again, like I think as the need kind of increases, people don't know where to find some of these resources. So it's really important that number one, like this information is getting out, and as well as that you can donate too, because I know there's people, especially when babies start to grow, and then you might have extra diapers or something like that. And what do you do with the extra diapers? So it's nice to be able to say, this might be a system that can assist with that as well. And I want to make mention because I don't think that Kyle mentioned this. So you started this in as a sophomore in high
sophomore in
school?
high school, yes.
A sophomore in high school. So, and to continuously work through this and like you knew your numbers. So even knowing the numbers and knowing the need and how to maneuver and problem solve, how can we really, the needs are increasing. So how can we find more? What else can we do? And I appreciate that from someone of your age because it's so inspiring. It's inspiring to have someone that had started, and again, it's go mama, right? Go big up to your mom because at the end of the day, like she said, maybe you can do something like this. But for you to continue on forth with it, because as parents, sometimes we could tell our kids like go you should do something like this and they're just like yeah no, like they'd rather be doing something else, playing on their phone or whatever. And for you to take this on, and I think you had a little bit of a support too from your siblings and some of your classmates as well, but to build a community that you have to continue this. It's such a great movement. So we appreciate everything that you're doing. I'm so glad that we were able to connect, meeting through the chamber, but this stuff is really important. So everybody, what are your social media handles? You gave the website already. What are some of your social media handles just as well?
Sure, yeah. So on Instagram, you can find us at Gentle Love Connects, and on Facebook, Gentle Love Connections. And then we're also on LinkedIn and YouTube as well.
Nice. And same handle, same names.
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. So donate, reach out, look on their website to see where some of the drives might be if you need some assistance and some help. Is there a any kind of criteria that people who are in need might have to go through? Is there a process?
No, families can just show up at any of our community partners during their hours of operation and receive assistance, no questions asked. Similar to how you can show up at a Connecticut Food Share mobile food pantry site. Um, it's same kind of process applies to us. It's no questions asked. If you demonstrate that you have a need and express that need to us, we
Mhm.
will always step in and assist. And that's one of the things too that differentiates
Mhm.
us from a lot of other nonprofits in the space. Um, because again, if you're really in need of diapers, more than often, you're also in need of other forms of support.
Mhm.
And why we work with a network of community partners is because those partners can help connect families to other resources rather than us just being a direct distributor of products.
Mhm.
So, that can look um, that can involve multiple forms of
Mhm.
assistance beyond diapers, whether that's
Right.
completing school registration, applying for energy assistance, receiving food, um, getting assistance, uh, to help address addiction or a plethora of other um, ongoing personal or economic hardships.
Right.
Um, and again, like we've been able to build and scale a model that works best for this community because
Right.
we know this community best.
Mhm.
And again, we're constantly on the ground. We're constantly trying to innovate and create. Hence why, we also changed names. We dropped Diaper Pantry from our organizational name because we wanted to emphasize that we're more than just diapers too.
Mhm.
So we also have car seats that will be landed in Manchester in the coming months to
Mhm.
distribute in coordination with the town because again, like that's another high need item that was brought to our
Right.
attention that there wasn't a resource in place.
Right.
So there'll be additional information forthcoming about that. We also did get out and play bags this summer that
Mhm.
contain summer essentials such as sunscreen, bug repellent, a mini first aid kit, and then also literature about other community-based programs because again, we want to be seen as a connector to other community-based
Right.
programs as well. Because working within this elaborate fabric with other like-minded organizations is so important. Um, if we're ultimately going to help provide um, a hand up rather than just a hand down to families.
Right.
And um, so again, it's an evolving process,
Mhm.
constantly learning every day. But again, continuously trying to push us forward so we can support even more families because again, the need here is astronomical. We're only
Right.
meeting a fraction of the demonstrated need within these four communities. And again, it's vital that we continue to engage because diapers are also a gateway to so many things that people don't realize.
Right.
um, Even federally subsidized daycare programs, etc., they require at least a day's supply in order to enroll. uh,
Mm.
so if you can't enroll your child into daycare, then that's taking away time
Right.
from you earning a wage, which in turn can help stabilize your family's finances.
Right.
Um, and again, like diapers, I mean, for low income families, it can comprise up to 13% of their post tax income.
Right.
So it's a large share of the pie.
Yeah.
If you receive assistance to help supplement, um, you know, in that regard, you can put
Mhm.
more money towards putting food on the table, paying for rent,
Right.
utility bills, which have soared in recent
Right.
months. Um, and so all those factors, um, when put together, kind of illustrate it may seem just as one tangible good, which many people think may seem as like common sense, like everyone needs diapers, right? And
Right.
or children that are in that age bracket need
Mhm.
diapers. But they don't look beyond, okay, what are the long-term implications of
Mhm.
said resource in terms of, you know, ensuring that the family is in a stable position
Right.
socially, emotionally, economically, to move forward and to kind of turn the chapter and to kind of climb up the ladder,
Hmm.
socioeconomic ladder, um, and to build those opportunities to um, be in a position where you know you're not worried about where am I getting the next diaper
Right.
to put on my child, because
Right.
it's kind of absurd that we're in the
Mhm.
21st century, and um again, people still cannot afford
Right.
diapers for their children. um
Right. Right, because everything's always increasing and, it's always going up, and it's really creating, like, that divide monetarily, and I wanna bring up something that you said that was so important because it kind of connects back to mental health, right? Is that, basic needs. We talk about mental health and people are always shy about, "Oh, mental health and therapy and this and that," but mental health is every day.
yeah.
Right? And you're dealing with your mental health every day. If you're stressed at work, that's mental health. If you're happy, that's good mental health, right? Like if you're experiencing a little nerves and anxiety, that's mental. All of it consists of mental health. And so what we try to do here at Transforming Hearts is destigmatize that because we all have to have an understanding that this is normal. It's important to focus on your mental health. And when your basic needs are not met, it's going to impact your mental health, which therefore it can impact a lot of your everyday tasks. It can impact school, it can impact work, and impact even how you parent your kids. So, having organizations like yours to really help and those basic needs is a crucial part of the community. So, I give you, your flowers and really shout you out because what you're doing is such a big impact in so many ways, and I'm sure in so many lives. So, thank you for the things that you do and for you continuously keep going, even when it might be challenging, even for you to sustain that growth. So again, like everybody, if there's ways that you can donate, definitely look him up on his website, gentle love connections, right, .org.
GentleLove.org.
Okay, yep. So I will post that up on the chat just as well so everybody can have a link to that. Is there anything else, like a last minute message that you want to send to people at all at this time before we leave?
I mean, I guess the biggest thing is, don't underestimate the value of community and building partnerships and what that can do in the long term in terms of improving health and quality of life for all residents. And it's important to recognize that, nonprofits in many regards are the lifeline for communities and step in ways, both big and small, that many people don't appreciate.
Mhm.
And, again, this is just a small part of what I do, part of, my larger lifelong mission of serving and supporting others.
Mhm.
Um, but again, like, it is so important that, we cherish the resources that we have in place and that we lift up and support one another and look out for one another as a community.
Mhm.
And really, again, um, bridge the divide in terms of differences to work towards a pursuit of more common goals, and realize that, you know, we have so much more in common than we do different. And, um, again, this is one just simple cause that we can all rally around to
Right.
support and uplift um, families in our community that are in need. And again, I'm so fortunate to be in a position where I can help and mobilize resources and served as a connector through this organization.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle, for being here today, going live with us. Continue to do what you do, and as a community, we'll continue to uplift you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today, and we'll